So, hello everyone. Oh, that's so annoying because the phone's been off. Now that's going to mean something. So, I've got about a million notifications popping up because this phone had been off, and so they're just flying in. But that's fine. Um, that means something. You may be in total hermit mode because right now as I'm filming it, this is the new moon in Virgo, and if you're not aware, Virgo is the hermit. It is very much about retreating, connecting with the earth. So yeah, you could even see it as kind of shying away. I know that definitely on a Virgo moon, I tend to be a wee bit more into myself. Um, Usually because I've been kicking arse out in a Leo moon. Because if you're new to me, I'm a strange case of, it might seem like I'm extremely extrovert, but I've actually got 6 retrogrades in my chart all the time. You know, what everyone makes a fuss about that has been in recently. Um, so what that means is, for those of you who don't know astrology is, I'm extremely I'm extremely internal. Like, I'm very I observe a lot around me, and I notice things that other people. Now, obviously, I'm overly generalizing, so it's other people will do this too, but especially other people that get attracted to me. But I tend to notice way more than most people do. You know, the little nuances about people that most people miss, and that is one of the things I love about myself. And yes, so I hope you can say that you love something about yourself, because that can take people a long, long time to do. So again, everything I say is channeling, so that's going to have something to do with it. So perhaps, sadly, there are people out there, and this is what I help people with, that, perhaps you find it really difficult to say what you love about yourself, because you might have been taught by society that if you say that you love anything about yourself, you're up your cell, or you're being a big head or whatever. I think we've all had that somewhere in our lives, you know what I mean? Even if it's just from society, but usually we do get that from somewhere. Um, but no, you know what I mean? You've got to appreciate what's good about you, especially, so I feel like I'm channeling for those of you that might have been around, like people in particular that, you didn't get, nobody ever pointed out what's special about you and unique. And again, that is what I do in my session. So anyway, like I said, everything I do is channeling, everything I do is healing around here. I always see it as one big prayer. Oh, now look, that's interesting. I was shuffling, and that's the one on top. So embrace what destiny has in store for you. We'll just leave that sitting there. Um, it is so hot in this room because I didn't say that, did I? So everything is for healing twin flames, and I don't know how long this is going to be. It's not too much of a big deal if it ends up being a longer video, because I have been healing long enough now that I can talk, basically. Because this is what's very interesting, because those of you that are around here all the time, the hashtag old, that is, what the fuck, guys, I'm not even kidding. Oldies. Look how long I had to think to what the hell I say. That is absolutely hilarious. I was like, what is it? I called people that have the soul family that have been around a long time, and I couldn't think. And it's not really that hard, is it? Oldies. Anyway, sorry about that. Hashtag oldies. If you've been around a while, even if that's a week, you can hashtag yourself an oldie if you want. Um, and if you're new, you're a hashtag newbie. And again, you get to decide when you transition. So all my cards are falling all over the fucking place, but maybe that means I'm meant to use them very childlike ones. This has got a card in it that says something very good is about to happen. Let's just shuffle these for a bit. So yeah, anyway, so blah blah blah. Yeah, all this is going to have something to do with it though. So all the notifications popping up, I feel that's about, you can feel very overwhelmed with it. I know that I've been feeling like that with things like YouTube today. Ironically, you're watching this on YouTube whenever I put it out. I'm just feeling like really needing to detox from it. Like, I just spent, I don't know, it wasn't even very long, but it feels like ages for me. Like, it was about an hour just kind of pottering about, and I didn't have anything on at all, which is weird for me. I normally have music or something, or a video or a audiobook or something. But I just felt quite a lot. So the reason I'm really doing this, right, is because, like I said, because I just had my tooth out, which I kept on the DL. I just got drawn to 441 backwards, 144. I kept on the DL, sadly. I know I say it all the time, guys. I get fucking bored of hearing myself say it, but it is really true. And those of you that get hit hard like what I do, you'll know exactly what I mean. Because again, I'm well aware of the fact that, those of you on the twin flame journey that don't get hit as hard as what I do with psychic attacks, spiritual warfare, all of that, you'll think I'm exaggerating and talking shit. I really don't care. I really don't know. But it is just the truth. And those of you that do get it, as hard as what I do, you'll know exactly what I mean. So, you know what I mean? It is just my truth. But yeah, sadly, I was guided to, I didn't say to people beforehand that I was going to get the tooth out. But you kind of did know, because I said when I went the first time and I bottled it and fucking bolted. But that was a bit of a case study, for a cool case study, basically. Because I was so nervous, I basically done a lot of self-hypnosis, and listened to other like dental hypnosis videos and stuff. And I'm just really inspired to make my own one at some point. And yeah, because the anxiety I had was real, you know what I mean? Like 555, big changes. It was so crazy. Like it was just, yeah, like I couldn't honestly see past getting that fucking tooth out. And I knew it was going to be all right. But even though I knew it was going to be all right, again, that's my gift to fucking see in the future. I was just like that. It was consuming me. So, um, pretty crazy that it literally took less than 5 minutes. And wow, the woman was so professional. Can I say, she was really impressed with me as well. Like she could tell that I had done a lot of work to soothe myself before it, because she could feel my nerves, but I wasn't freaking out, if that makes sense. It was like I was just like, I've got to do it. Do you know what I mean? There's no way around this. There's no point fucking moaning about it. I just got to crack on with it. I was so disciplined and ready for that moment. So yeah, really, really proud of myself. So if you've had to do that recently, or if you know what I'm talking about, or if you've got, I know I've had a few conversations with people. I think it was like last year or this year about upcoming things like that. Then yeah, think about booking a session with me. Oh, interesting. Now, I'm not too sure. It's funny. I'm not too sure this time when my throat's getting dry. That could be a combination. I do feel it is going to be to do with those of you that are preparing to speak your truth. That really doesn't matter whether you're divine feminine or divine masculine, because I feel there's a wave of unions incoming. And again, it's not necessarily imminent, but it is if it's real time with the shorts. But that isn't everyone. I have to keep stressing that. But also, it's just because I've not been used to channeling and talking for such a long period of time, for over a week now. My voice, I think, is going to get quite dry. So anyway, so I'm just going to churn out all the downloads that I've had, and basically, and also the other practical thing is, but again, I bet that'll have something to do with it too. This room's fucking boiling, because if you heard me talk about this office before, it's not got a window in it, and so it's boiling in the summer, and it's freezing in the winter. So, but the workaround is I've got a wee heater in here, like, but I move about from this room to the next, because my house is about to go from being freaking boiling to freezing. But I mean, I'm used to it now. But anyway, it's a bit uncomfortable in here, so I don't really want to be standing too long. But yeah, so talking of uncomfortable, now that's interesting. I don't know when I'm going to be sharing this, by the way, because I'm saying that's interesting because I just got led to that. I knew exactly what I was doing. Okay, we'll come to that in a minute. I don't know if I'm going to be sharing this in real time. Like, I mean, I'm filming it on the 15th September 2023, but I don't know if I'll be sharing it in real time. I'll just watch it and decide after, or if I put it out, next week or whatever. But whoever's meant to watch. So if you're watching it and it's just to reflect on how your new moon and Virgo weekend was, then there you go. Or you could be watching, like I said, a year, 2 years from now, and some of it will make sense to people. But if we're talking real time here, the fear that was coming up last night that I felt in the Twin Flame Collective was off the fucking charts. Like really, really uncomfortable feelings. And it's quite interesting because, I mean, it's not funny, but it's like we're not far off going through the part of my chart that, we've all got. Again, I thought cryptically for a reason. Like, if you want to know what pointers there are to that in your chart, like I can show you. I mean there'll be lots of you'll know that already, but I can point that out in your own chart in a session. But there's definite points that I can think to that fear would come up more times than others, and that's what's coming up for me. So I feel I'm actually going through. I feel what I went through last night is like what I feel people may go through over this weekend. So so basically what I've went through Thursday night is I feel, and really I think it's a bit of this week I've went through it during the day and that too, but it's just waves of thinking the worst, like overthinking. And so I'm just gonna be really blunt here. I do feel it's like because I don't even know where to go with this shit. Right. So if we talk about like divine feminine's worst fears, right, it would be things like you're either getting feelings of your worst nightmares being reality, because Virgo is reality, um, or you're overthinking about all the worst case possible scenarios and what you could handle when it comes to your twin flame, you know what I mean? Like, particularly talking to those divine feminines that you might not be in the know about what's going on in your twin's life, because twin flames in general, divine feminine or divine masculine, it's hard to describe, but there usually is a real cryptic element about either one or two of them, or both of you could be quite cryptic to each other. But again, it can go the opposite. Sometimes like you've got usually divine masculine energies could be quite flashy in that on social media and stuff, and that tends to be when those of you it's true regardless of your gender. If you're putting on a bit of a facade or a mask, or you don't need to be putting on a mask to be flashy. I mean, I can own the flashy part of me is when I'm on a live stream. You know what I mean? It's like 11:44, but again, I've been drawn to 11:44 because that's my purpose. And like I said, that's just me when I'm on a live stream, and then it's not me when I'm off the live stream. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it depends what day it is. Like I'm not so far removed that it's like, wow, you're totally different. But you know what I mean? I'm like, I could spend a lot of time not talking and just be in silence. But anyway, blah 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 blah. Yeah, so I just feel there's some sort of weird synchronicity happening with the sabotage that happened to a wave of twin flame unions, specifically last year. Now it happens every year, right? And it's always at particular times, but um, I just know that this happened last year. Like I supported a lot of people with this, and definitely went through it myself. And so basically, yeah, it feels like there's a whole wave of bullshit happening again to many people. So for divine feminines, again, use your common sense. It would be things like your twin flames sleep with your best friend, or your twin flames sleeping with your mum, or your twin flames sleeping with your cousin, or your twin flames sleeping with somebody that either still means a lot to you and is in your life, or somebody that was like a friend of mine, yeah, all shit like that, right? Or like, so it's kind of like a wee bit more fucking stepping it up a gear from your twin is still with someone else that you don't know or something. It's like, um, or somebody's knocked up, you know what I mean? Or I don't know, just all these kind of what would be another one? Oh, like they've just got married, or they're marrying someone, but it's and there'll be many more that I haven't mentioned. For divine masculine, I feel a lot of the fears are that you've met someone else, or like you, regardless of your gender, or that you finally gotten sick of their shit and you're on the hunt, you're on the lookout for someone else, or that you've got knocked up by someone else. It's what else? What else could it be? Or that you've secretly got married. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's all these, and so some you might think, oh god, like some of these are a bit far fetched. They're not far fetched, and it's crazy if you just go and take a fucking look on YouTube. There's loads of titles like that right now, and what's so interesting is with the axis of Virgo and Pisces, Virgo being integrity and discernment, Pisces being confusion, illusion, lies, today being Mercury direct, which can often be the biggest day, at the same days it goes retrograde, I believe the day it goes direct as well can be a bit fucking all over the place too. I've seen a lot of that with tech stuff today. Um, and just experienced it myself too. Like my TV was doing loads of weird shit, but my TV's got a fucking life of its own. It fucking turns itself off for 15 seconds and then comes back on. And it's just one of these weird things I've gotten used to. And I only got it last Christmas, so I've not even had it a year. And yeah, I know I should take it back, right? I'm just not one of those people. But that'll be symbolic for someone too. I'm not even kidding you. But yeah, the fear is real. Now, let me say, this is what's interesting. Some of those things that I've mentioned, sadly, I know for a fact with people that I've helped with this in the past, it's a reality. Like, some people's twins may have slept with somebody that you don't think that they would have, done it, or you might have done it, um, or it can be like things that have happened way in the past are coming back to haunt someone. Like a conscience is, like a sense of like being aware of how shady it was. The things like that. And this is what I mean by we can all act karmic. That sounds like I said someone's name there. That'll be relevant. Someone we can all act karmic at some point, and so I feel definitely specifically for divine masculines there can be a sense of regret over things done in the past. Now, whether it's as brutal as some of the things I've just mentioned there, or um, just the way in which some things are handled. Because let's face it, like, for some twin flames, I have to sort of cover that ground as well. There are lots of twin flames that, like, they're not only in a relationship and got kids with other people, like, some people are married to their twin flame. Right? This is just a fact. And like I said, I would never have, I'm so glad my soul didn't choose to be one of those twin flames that married and had a couple of kids with someone and then woke up and realised I wasn't with the love of my life. I just couldn't do it. Like, as it is, you know what I mean? But that's why my soul didn't choose that way. But then there'd be a lot of people that look at my life and be like, Claire, I couldn't spend 20 years of my life being single, like being consciously aware, the jury's out how long I was consciously aware of being in love with someone else that's with other people. You know what I mean? It's like, I get it. We all choose our own soul paths. But yeah, it just I just have to. I just really felt the need to channel about this with the fear because it's like it's off the fucking charts, and I've seen it. I've seen it before, and it's my feeling on it is that it's because these unions are coming in. It's you'll be getting thrown, you'll be getting thrown all the different horrible synchronicities to make your deepest fears come alive. And the difficult thing is, right, some of the things you're going to be getting led to, it's going to be painful things and painful channelings that are telling you a hard truth that is true. And then you will get the clarity in the physical that, yeah, it's true. That's the Pisces Virgo thing. Like, you could hear something and you're like, fuck, that totally feels like this is me and my twin flame dynamic, even though I don't know for sure, it feels like this could be a possibility. And then you find out with the Virgo part of it, fuck, that was real, you know what I mean? But then it's difficult because then you could go that you get led to synchronicity and you're thinking the worst, you're like, oh fuck, I fucking knew it, you know what I mean? Blah blah blah. And then it turns out it was the Pisces confusion, illusion. It was deception. Like, it was the energies that tried to make you put the fear of God in you. So put the fear of God in feminine so that you're tearing your hair out with worry about, whatever is going on between you and your twin flame, and or what's coming towards you, or what gossip, what is coming towards you, or what truth, painful truth, or it can be, what are they saying to me? Yeah, it's just basically, I think that nails it. I wrote stuff down my phone, but then I just decided to freestyle all the stuff. But it's just basically that, right? People's deepest fears are coming to the surface. Um, and like I said, I do think it is because we're in Virgo season, it's a Virgo new moon, and that is discernment, and and you're being thrown tests of discernment. So to me, I see this as like, it's the Pisces full moon brought up confusion, illusion, deception, lies in the world and in personal situations. And now, what is really in your conscious awareness is all the stuff that came up at that full moon. And it's like people are being led to do something about it. Like, so you might be getting led to find out the truth, or the truth might be getting synchronistically brought to you, or it might be your twin bringing you the truth, like, so that you can actually find out what is bullshit and what is true. Um, But now, so yeah, I feel that's what I'm. But generally, like, see, for the people that isn't applying to, that it's not real big heartbreaking stuff that is going to come to you, that is going to crush you. I can feel Divine Masculine's going through a lot of yearning, missing you if you're the Divine Feminine, and worrying that you've moved on, or that you've finally had enough. Yeah, and I've watched loads of films over the time that I've not been well, so if I get guided channel about any of them, you know me, I will. So let's just shuffle some of these. So what is one of the fears? Because I feel it's like, like I said, missing you is a strong feeling. Are you missing your twin, regardless of gender? And just wanting that reassurance that it's not too late, something like that. Serendipity, chance meeting, more than coincidence, number, pattern, signs, fated, destiny, soul contract. Well, we've got destiny there and destiny here. So if something's fated and destined, and someone's feeling the desire, that card just fell on the floor. Fantasizing about you, passion, obsession, lust. Oh god, it's our old friend wanting to make love. Intense sexual chemistry. But yeah, the roller coaster of Mercury retrograde, yeah. And I didn't say that, but I was going to say that, yeah. And it's just reunions on the mind, basically, for a lot of Divine Masculines. Twin flame union, coming back together, oneness, reconciliation, meeting the one, spending time together, divine marriage. It's basically, yeah, look, divine marriage and it's wedding. It's, it's like being and wanting to share the feelings. Written communication of feelings, expressing heartfelt truth, reaching, missing, there we go, missing you. I knew that it was either going to be the card or. So yeah, there's just a lot of intense feelings going on. But again, this, I knew exactly what I was doing. I feel this is going to specifically make sense to someone about, like, I can't really put in words, but it's something along the lines of, I can feel someone's higher self, like twin's higher self, saying to me, or a collective of masculines being like, it was hard for me to pull away from my twin, but I knew what I was doing. Like, I wasn't ready. So it can be something along the lines of they weren't ready for you, or you weren't ready for your twin, or they didn't feel good enough at that point in their life. They didn't feel, yeah, didn't feel ready for it. Whatever that's going to, something to do with that. So we'll put that there. And right, I wanted to use the tarot cards that I've been using on the shorts. So if you haven't watched the shorts, the past, yeah, actually, look, I'm not even using this deck, but they've just, oh my god, they're going to fall. They've just drew me to this card, trapped in fear. That's Eight of Swords. So you see if that man's like trapped in fear. It's like, and this is about being trapped in your head mentally. So it's like, I do feel like this is like, I'm picking up on the masculines that are just putting themselves through hell about whether you have moved on with someone else or not, or and even if you haven't, it's like they're feeling like you might be getting to that point, something like that, right? So let's just see. So what I was going to say is, if you haven't seen the shorts, go and check them out, because although they're only a minute, like, they're going down a lot better than the usual ones that I put out. So that's what happens a lot of the time. So even like, if ever usually in the past, it's like if I've had the flu or something, and like I've no, or just if I'm burnt out, I've not got energy, and I do things that are silent, like silent healings, or just doing a short one where I don't need to use my voice that much. It's always like a creative way for my guides to get me to like show more of what my soul's got to offer. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's rather than just doing the same old, and that's that would be, I don't know if I'd call it a shadow side of the Virgo, but I suppose it is. It's like, you get stuck in a routine of doing something, and it's good to sort of change it up a little bit. And talking of that, actually, so that here's a bit of changing it up a bit, but having a routine that I've been saying the past the past month, but usually the past couple of months. I think it's been the past couple of months. It's been in my head years, but I I want to at least try to get in a habit of doing a live stream daily. So whether that's Tuesday to Friday or Monday to Friday, I'll just see how I go. So that is my plan. As soon as I'm feeling a bit more up to it, we're going to test that out. And what got more votes, but it was only a few people that voted, was, I think it was around 1 or half 1 UK time. because I think that would land the early morning in parts of America and stuff. So, and that's what, most of the time would work for me. Rather than, I don't know, I don't know though. I could maybe do tea time, but if I committed to tea time, it would really, I'd need to get really good at making it like a 30-minute live stream, and I just don't know how likely that is. But anyway, but I'll work it out as we go along. So, right, so it's already been 25 minutes. So, what is the dominant theme? Now, I can't remember what came up earlier today, but what is the dominant energy of the divine feminine collective, regardless of gender, that you want us to know about right now? And I'm going to specifically say what do the divine feminines need to know about the union, towards the divine masculine, or just the union in itself, you know what I mean? Oh, very interesting. 6 of Cups. Memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticising the past. So, yeah, basically, quite simply, this is thinking about a past love. And Mercury retrograde makes you do that, and although Mercury's went direct, we still have the lingering retro shadow. But yeah, basically, this is thinking longingly about a past love, or it can be somebody that you might not have known that long in this life, but you've known them in past lives, because that's what all twin flames are. I want to get another card. And it's hard work, yeah. Skilled workers rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school, but basically, yeah, it's hard work. Logging after somebody like that. And it can get you really stuck in your head. 7 of Water, 7 of Cups. A complex decision, the need to do research, stop procrastinating. But the stop procrastinating bit, I really feel it is about, I just feel it's because I know that is the 7 of Cups there. It's just the overthinking energy that the Virgo can, I feel it's just what I said. It's like, because this is about options, and it's like, and illusions too, actually. And it can be like, I feel this is the divine feminine worrying about all the possibilities that could be. And like I said, I'm a realist here, right? I know you might not think it, but it's like, I have helped people that have, I mean, actually, you've seen, and I don't tend to name names because it's, but, if you were watching one of the live streams a few weeks ago, there was actually somebody on the live stream during a Scorpio moon. It was really deep stuff about, well, one of the situations I just mentioned there. Yeah, so anyway, right. Oh yeah. So where's the? Oh, here it is. I'm thinking, where's the? Interesting. The masculine deck is hiding. It doesn't want us to know. But that's going to have meaning, isn't it? The masculine doesn't want us to know something. So that's a channeled message, right? And I mean, that's not a fucking secret either. Ironically, when I'm talking about that, it's not a secret. There's things that the masculine does not want the divine feminine to know. It's different for everyone, so you'll find out one day. And like I said, sometimes it can be very innocent, like they don't want you to know how they feel about you, even though you do know. Ironic, I know. But sometimes it is more sinister shit, you know what I mean? Like, that they're not proud of, so it's different for everyone. So what would be some good stuff, or what would be something that the masculine needs to know about the feminine? Or anyway, just, I never know how to word it. What do we need to know? Where's the masculine at? Oh, wow, yeah, it's making sense here. So the feminines in her fields, thinking about the past, reminiscing about the past. The masculines, oh, this is really weird. This came up reversed earlier. So it's like that masculine collective. But you see, that can still make sense. They were being guided to not be afraid. But it's like, this is the devil card. So it's like, and this is interesting because today is the 15th, so it's the devil energy. Like, that Virgo energy that I've mentioned here, that could really be getting some masculines really stuck in their head. And actually, I'm just going to check. I think it is actually Libra moon now, which is also being stuck in your head, procrastinating energy. Yeah, it is. It's Libra moon now. So it could crack you up even more. And that's with the South Node as the past. So that's the energy of needing to Put the, mind you, it won't be conjunct with the South Node till Sunday at some point. But yeah, basically, the South Node's about the past, so that'll be bringing up feelings about the past as well. But yeah, basically, the masculine's stuck in fear, right? So that's like what I was feeling. Both twins are stuck in fear, is from what I've been feeling. Hopefully, it eases off for you, and hopefully, it fucking eases off for me once I get this message out. So the masculine's putting the guilt in the fire, the illusion of being trapped. That's why they obviously got me to show that card at the start. Placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. Well, that's exactly what I said. So, and again, if you're new, of course it's exactly what I said, because it's not me. I'm just clearing the way for me to be a clear channel to deliver this message. So that's the message they want to put out. What else do we need to know about the masculine towards the feminine? Unity. That's the Hierophant. So again, I really do feel it's like, it's interesting because I know it's upright, but I feel it's like the masculines want to rebel against what's expected of them. But there's also a message about like that, the alchemical marriage, the spiritual union part of it, of just being ready for what they weren't ready before. Now that doesn't need to be marriage or anything, but it's like more of more committed to this journey than what they were, like not running from it. Do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches with which works for you. A spiritually minded community. Yeah, basically the masculine is awakening. And also look, these are big energies as well. So it's it's the major arcana. So big lessons that the masculines learn right now, because look, the feminine hasn't got any of these, the big lessons. So, and 2 5s as well, big change. What else? Oh my god, yep. And this is somebody that's like majorly in the fields, and this is oh my god, that's hilarious. So one of the films I caught earlier, right, was Teen Wolf, which I know I say everything's my favourite, but trust me. And it's not, I mean, that is kind of funny that my power animal's a wolf too. But Teen Wolf has been my favourite since I was a kid, right? And it's because I love cheesy 80s songs, and I love that song, win in the end. And so this card always reminds me of it. You will win in the end. And I caught the end of Teen Wolf earlier, and I was being given a huge download. Now I've channeled about Teen Wolf and the Twin Flame journey before, and I'm really surprised I've never caught anyone else making that connection, because got it's got so much to channel about it with the Twin Flame journey. Like it's like, but what I've always said loads of times, and that's what's coming back to me again. That's obviously why that card's came up to remind me, because I don't think well, they would have reminded me about it, but I didn't think I was going to talk about it. But it's the bit at the end when, because he's fancied the hot girl, the hot blonde girl that's like dating a horrible hot guy, I mean, but that's what's fucked up about that film. She's dating somebody already, and she's so toxic and karmic and major distorted feminine that she's entertaining the main character that is, he's just he's lusting after her because she's a good looking girl, right? But she's a fucking horrible bitch. Like, like I've said before, could often go that way, not for everyone. And it's like, and then she's like kind of just trying to wind up her boyfriend, because she's not really going to do very much with the other one, except she does get on with him in a dressing gown. In a dressing gown. No, we know very much on in a dressing room, in the film. So if you've seen it, but basically the point is, I love at the end of the film that she's just basically, she's a fucking cock tease. Let's call it what it is. Do you know what I mean? She's just trying to wind. It's nasty. You know what I mean? It's using your sexuality in a really dark way. And that's what Jezebel spirit does. It'll take over female energies, and sometimes even men, and just like be really toxic, like just, and lure them in with sexual energy and stuff, and basically fucking ruin their lives. I mean, there's loads of examples of that with celebrities. Don't get me started. Like, that suck the life out of a man and then throw them away. I'm sure you can think of examples yourself. But I love at the end of Teen Wolf, because it's like, when he wins, you know what I mean? It's great that like you see the hot girl walking downstairs, like, looking all smarmy, expecting him to come up and be like, hug her. And then he just kind of like, walks past her and just kind of puts his hand on her arm, but be like, get out the way, I'm going to get my real girl. And then, that's the humble one that's kind of his best pal and is all, just, rooting for him to just be himself. Which is why I'm saying it's very like the Twin Flame journey, because that's what I noticed about it. I notice something new every time I watch a film, but it's like, you know, the dad and her are the only two people, it seems like, in the crowd that are just rooting for him to just show up as yourself. Like, don't show up as the wolf, because the wolf is like the persona of, like, you know, putting on a mask kind of thing and being the cool dude kind of. And but what I love about it is, like, that's a perfect example of divine feminine, because and she doesn't push him to do what she wants him to do. Like, she actually she stands back even right at the end, like, and, you know, waits to see, is he gonna pick me, or is he gonna go to the, you know, the one that's a fucking bitch again. Like, and it seems, okay, I must stress, not all karmic energies in people's lives, and yes, even the romantic ones, are that kind of energy, but a lot are. From what I help people with, from what I know, it's just a fact, right? But yeah, and that's where I feel the justice is going to come in. So clearly, I'm channeling about someone that has been stuck in ego in the past, or you, your twin, or you, that just followed the status quo, and therefore might have just picked people that wouldn't stand out, you know, wouldn't make them feel so different and kind of like self-conscious or insecure. And basically, but this person's putting that behind them, or you to, you know, to follow their heart. I think that is like the message from earlier. A romantic partner you can trust, excellent advice that comes from the heart, getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavour. Now, that's why I love that I've been drawn to these cards, because the King of Cups as well is often, you know, depicted as this energy of, like, a man or a woman. I mean, like I said, it's the King of Cups is the nail, but, you know, you can just, it's just energy, so whatever, right? But it's someone that has so much love, but they're finding it really quite difficult to put it into words, can be one of the interpretations of that. But I like the wording of this is, like, it's somebody that you can trust. Like, they've learned their huge big lessons, because it's the major arcana, about blending into society for, you know, for the sake of their ego. And that's why I'm using, I think that's why they're getting me to use the example of Teen Wolf, because that's what he does for some of the film. Like, he shows off, remember he's doing the handstand and whatever on top of the van, and wearing those very 80s shades, and, you know, so it's symbolic of somebody that's just, you know, being in with the in crowd. But being in with the in crowd can often attract pretty toxic folk, you know, like what I've described, like with that girl, because, like I said, the girl doesn't even want him, she's just playing mum, like, she's just toying mum. And it really reminds me of another film I caught there. I don't really care for the name of it, so I won't really say the name of it, but it's not that bad, but I just don't really like it. So sometimes worry about these Hollywood films and what they name things, but it was really funny, to be fair. But yeah, basically the film, the gist of it is the same as all the other ones I channel about, and I hadn't seen it before. And again, this is the thing. There's an importance in a name, because it was the name that was putting me off. But yeah, the whole film is like, basically it's like this guy is getting married, and it's Zac Efron. So see, when I'm describing the film, if you've seen it, you'll know what it is. But um, it's, so again, each their own. But Zac Efron, right, extremely hot, um, and but he's being really boring. Like, you can tell he's not really being himself, and he's marrying this girl that seems like really high maintenance. You know, she's constantly calling him up about the wedding. You can tell that he's been forced into the wedding too, and he's just basically following what his dad wants him to do, right? So it's like, you know, so there's this theme of going along with what a parent thinks is right for you. Again, very clever spirit, very, you know, going along with traditional sort of things that we do. And so, like, to give you a rundown, like, you know, the dad's a lawyer, and it's like, in this film, the guys joined the dad's lawyers, you know, joined the dad's, I think he must own the company or whatever. Um, and the girlfriend's also a lawyer, and it's like, so, you know what I mean? It's just keeping in with the lawyer crowd, and, like, basically keeping it, but it's somewhere along the line he mentions that, oh, that's how you find out. Yeah, so basically that's the backstory, right? He's marrying someone, and you can tell that he's only doing what's expected of him, and he's living quite a mundane, boring life. Again, a lot of people, like clients I've worked with in the past, some of you that might be watching this, mundane is a word that comes up quite a lot. You know what I mean? That's like, you know, just people were going through the motions, and you wake up and you're like, oh my god, there's more to life. And that's a lot of times. And if you weren't already aware of your twin flame and the twin flame journey, that's often when a twin flame come in your life, like what I said the other week there, that, you know, someone I've worked with for a few years and worked with closely, um we just pieced the puzzle pieces, well, she pieced it together, and then she said to, she was like, you know, she's like, not only did you helped me get out of the karmic situation, which was incredibly difficult, most people's are. But shortly after getting out of that, I've then met my real twin flame, and that's what happens a lot of the time with people that work with me. I am a catalyst for people's twin flame journey. That's why I get a lot of shit from the hate from the karmics. Do you know what I mean? Because it can seem like it's me that done it. But again, like I said before, shamans often are the last port of call to click something into place for someone. And I'm that kind of shaman for people's love lives. If you're not following your heart, you're not following your passion, they're going to send you to me if you're a twin flame, if you're on my radar. You know what I mean? And like I said, some people have to spin the block a few times and spend far too much money on fake psychics or even real psychics, but just psychics that don't get a twin flame journey. Like I've shared loads of stories on the long live streams that I do, definitely in personal sessions, and even just on videos that I've done on here about the times that I've had readings from amazing mediums to everyone else, but really said really damaging things about the twin flame journey to me. Do you know what I mean? Whether it be just basically planting the seed that it wouldn't be a good idea to get involved with. So, but anyway, that's all part of it. I'm not going into all that again. But the justice is coming in these unions, so take the time to review the details carefully. You will win in the end. Fair and objective decisions. Karmic justice. Karmic justice is coming about, and oh my god, I've just noticed the other synchronicity. Of course it is, because it's Libra moon right now. And Libra moon is justice. It's also injustice. So what I'm here to say is, if you're in the injustice part of it, if something is an injustice, that's also legal matters as well, and I know that can definitely come up for a lot of twin flames as well, with loads of different, and actually shit, I was just talking about lawyers there too. But you know what I mean, that can always come up too, because it's anything, like, whether it comes to just trying to think what have I helped people with, like, well, divorces, people making it difficult for you to divorce them, obviously things to do with kids, anything, anything that brings up legal matters, like owning businesses together, blah, 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 blah. Just people making life difficult, you know what I mean, for you to move forward. Right, okay, but the gist of it here is that feminine energy is reminiscing about his past love, reminiscing about all the hard work that you've put into this union, but possibly falling into overthinking and worrying about all the possibilities of why this is delayed, blocked, whatever. But remember, Mercury retrograde also, and retrogrades in general, cause delays and blocks and just makes life a bit harder to get there. Again, that's why I'm a master, and I'm not even going to be modest about it, I'm a master at helping people be patient in general, and patient with the twin flame journey, and patient with your goals in any area of your life, because, yeah, I have to be. I've had to be, still have to be, in every area of life, because I was born with the 6 retrograde planets. But what I know is, keep working hard, keep believing in that love, and eventually the justice comes about. Is that true, Spirit, as we just pick up a random card? Yeah. You'll be moving on you'll be saying fuck this to the difficulties, 8 of summer, the desire for a more meaningful life, realising that it's time to move on, choosing to make major life changes. So, very interesting too, that the wording of that, because that is where I'm at as well. It's like I'm definitely feeling like a level up, on my ascension of wanting to change up the way I do things. I do that all the time because I'm Scorpio rising. Right, let's just vibe with it a little bit. So, what else do you need to know about the feminine energy? And so, yeah, I stingied that. And then masculine stuck in fear. This could be in pride as well, so they could still be scared to be vulnerable. Again, who isn't? But it's just scared to be vulnerable. And if you are, you're just going with the status quo for now. I can't speak. You're going with the status quo for now, but again, until you're not, and then you follow your heart. That's what I'm getting from that. And again, some of you might already be following your heart and embracing what destiny has in store for you. Because it's all about, we all escape the matrix programming in divine time. Right, tell something for a masculine. One step. Oh, well, that's interesting. I meant to say feminine, but I did say masculine. One step at a time. Lots of little steps make big dreams come true. I think it's just for both. What's another one? Listen to your intuitive feelings, and I like the word in the bottom of this. Don't let others talk you into doing something that you know is wrong. So you see what I mean? There's a theme here. It can be the person's own fear that is telling them not to move forward to where they want to, and to just stick with what you know, stick with who you know, even if you're bored. And sometimes it's like about the people around you that are encouraging you. It's like that other film I channeled about Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right. You know, when it's like he was also getting married to somebody that he was bored with, and then his best friend was like, yeah, you know, you don't love that new girl you've met. You're just being pulled to her because you're scared. You know what I mean? And he's like framed it a different way, and the guy's like, yeah, you're right. And that's why I always say that's a good example of somebody that needs to know their own mind and needs to go to a good counsellor, because if all it takes is somebody to say, oh no, you don't feel like this, you feel like this, or this is what would be the best thing for you to do. And then because that's not, by the way, hopefully people fucking get that when I'm saying that. You don't go to a counsellor to get the answers from the counsellor. You go to a good counsellor, right, for them to listen to what it is your heart is telling you, right, what your feelings are telling you, where you're being pulled to. And if the counsellor's worth their salt, they will reflect back what you're saying, and you will have the epiphanies and the aha moments by when they say, oh, so am I hearing you right when you said this, this, and this? And usually that's when the client goes, did I say that? And it's amazing how seriously, like, people, at half the time, it's like, you know what I mean? People are just in such autopilot, they don't realise how they're really feeling until somebody that properly can listen feeds it back, and it's like, yeah, and then that's why I love working with people over time, because it can be when I keep track of, and I don't necessarily mean like I keep track of, oh, you said this on Tuesday, the blah blah blah. It's like, it's more just a theme will build, and I'll be like, right, you know, week after week I've heard you say this, yet you seem to be not, you know, there seems to be a mismatch with where your heart is pulling you to and where you are right now. And you know, it just depends on what, again, it really depends, but that's usually how it goes, you know what I mean? It's yeah, anyway, so you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, there's a theme here. Oh shit, but when I start talking about that Zac Efron film, the point of that Zac Efron one is, then so that's the deal, right? He's bored, and then he goes away, and him and his grandpa go away. I mean, it is funny, but there's some bits that are just wrong, man. They go to spring break, right? It's funny. But anyway, before they take off, he bumps into a girl from school, and this is how you know he's not following his passion. The girl's like, oh, there's such and such I went to school with. He's an amazing photographer. He done blah blah blah. And I already got it for, you know, 2 minutes in the film. I was like, right, so clearly she's going to bring that out in him again, and that is what happens. You know, spoiler alert in the film. Obviously, where else is it going to be? But like, you know, they obviously, you know, you can tell they fancy each other from the get go. But it's like she she reminds him by just her talking about her passions and just being chill and being herself. It like basically her light. There's a theme of this today, because I channel something like that in the shorts too, and I've seen other synchronicities. Her light reminds him who he is. So again, very divine feminine, divine masculine, and because of their shared passion of the photography, it starts to remind them, well, wait a minute, this is what lights me up. And that's what I liked about that film, because you would never expect that, especially with what it's called. But it's really funny, but it's like, it was quite a beautiful example of the twin flame journey, where it's like someone's all set to marry somebody else, and you know, they were just doing, you know, they were on autopilot. He's a lawyer, and it was just basically he's boring the tits off everyone with talking about that, because even he's bored it without really realizing it. And then and so anyway, long story short, you know, you can work it out. Like, you know, they nearly kiss and everything, but they don't actually kiss. And, you know, he starts getting into physics photography. He just basically has more fun. But it's really funny because he gets really pissed on everything. And it's just really funny. Like, he just basically he's coming across a bit of stiff, you know, a bit boring, a bit kind of, you know, just a bit boring really, and a bit bored of his life. And then he meets this girl and his friend, and the fun he's having with his cool grandpa. And like, and that ends up being the whole gist of the film, as the grandpa could see he wasn't happy. And so it was like the spirit world were saying to me, it's the people's ancestors that, you know, your grandparents that are in the spirit world that are pushing you together with your twin, because they're on the other side of life. So even if they would have been very traditional, when they were here, and encouraged you to stay with the family, or stay in this for the kids, or whatever, or you don't break up, you don't divorce somebody, oh my god, it's all this kind of shit. It's like, it's like in the spirit world, it doesn't matter if they were like that when they're alive. In the spirit world, they can see it from the higher perspective, and that twin flame unions are destined, and you're here to go against the status quo. That is what you're here to do. You're here to be a rebel. You're here to shine your light, and you're here to be an example of true love, and not listening to people's manipulation and people pleasing people and everything, whoever it is in your life, and including like when you don't want to break somebody's heart, because that is a big thing. Is that many divine masculines, regardless your gender, again, these are people that I help all the time. You're really nice people, you know what I mean, and you don't want to break somebody's heart. It's all, even, and somebody's going to see because it's awkward. But then the thing that can be this, it's like what I channeled about the Mars and Libra that we're in right now, and some of you may have Mars and Libra. If you people please, too far, you're going to have a lot of repressed anger that you're not dealing with, and you're going to blow up at some point, and or you're just going to have, you could sort of start to bloody self-loathe because you're not expressing it. It could really turn in. It could make people literally ill, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, cause a lot of trauma, all this kind of stuff. But cause this a heavy message. See the light within yourself and everyone else. But yeah, so I'm just trying to think what else about that film. So yeah, so basically that's the gist of it, right? They're having fun, he's getting pissed, and it's reminding him of his own values and what's fun. And it's what I like about that film with the twin flame journey. It's not just about the girl. It's not just about the romance. It's about the fact that it reawakens his passion for the photography. And there isn't a bit in the film as well where he's given a camera. You know what I mean? He's given a professional camera to remind them, this is who you really are. So it's not just all about the love; it's linked, which is truly the twin flame journey too. Because, like I said, for a lot of my clients, it actually has been the biggest part that I've guided them with is they're finding their own gift and their calling, and and really like what lights you up, and then they meet their twin. Or for some people, you meet your twin and then you do, or for some things it happens at the same time. It's all kind of all different. It happens in different order for different people. Again, if you're not aware of that, my tagline is my gift is helping you find yours. It's just my gift is helping people do that, but it's also helping them on the twin flame journey with their twin flame too. But yeah, the bit I loved. Wait a minute, why am I remembering this all from memory? Because I wrote notes when. Oh yeah, so. Wait a minute, that's right there. Oh, that was it. Yeah. So at the start of that film, there's a bit too when it's like they're at a funeral, right, of his granny, and the one he's engaged to is just like, "Look, do you like the salmon or do you like the blue?" Like basically, she's asking about a tie because it's a comedy too, right? But if you read between the lines here, she's asking about something during his granny's funeral, and just basically like being really rude and disrespectful. So it was just giving that vibe of someone that's like, again, not a very nice, conscientious person. And so, all right, let's see. And whereas this new girl is, that is basically she's not new basically, actually. It's reignited. That's a good point. It's a past, it's not even a past love, but it's someone from his past. Oh, past again. It's bringing out his flirty, bantery side, whereas like you see that he's quite boring and not being himself with the other one, who is good looking, by the way. They're always good looking, but this is why I would say that is what lust energy is. It's dressed up in a nice package, but they're usually not the nicest of people. So yeah, basically, right. He then starts to feel, oh, shit, this isn't right. I need to call off this wedding. This isn't me. And the bit that I thought was like, that's so clever of a spirit to like make me see that film. When it comes to, I think it's like the thing before their wedding, so it's not their actual wedding. It's like the practice run for it or something. He basically is like saying to the girl that he's engaged to, like I can't marry you, right? But the mic's not working. And anyway, the point is, when she finally gets the whisper that, like, I can't marry you, she says, oh, well, and excuse my language here, but she says, well, it's all right because I effed your cousin, I think it is. So do you know what I'm basically getting across the message? That's a karmic energy. Do you know what I mean? So it's like all the time he's worrying about finding real love and real passions and breaking this karmic fiance's heart, but actually she's just shagged his pal or his cousin or whatever the weekend he's away with his grandpa. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's karmic energy. um, and again, like I always say, masculines can be karmic, and feminines can be. Everyone can be karmic. So it's just typical of people that weren't really in love anyway. Like the girl was only just doing what probably her dad wanted to do. Like, basically, it's like kind of just tradition. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're all lawyers, so we'll just stick together. Again, it's symbolic, so just use it for however it makes sense. But right, what was it they said at the end? Oh yeah, that was it. Right, this amazed me. The yeah, so is it the grandpa that's alive in this film is basically symbolic of your ancestors bringing you together. I channel that all the time about twin flames, but the badge that the grandpa was in the secret services, and the badge that he hands on means to liberate the oppressed, and that's what the whole film's about. Do you know what I mean? He's liberating him from feeling oppressed. So I was just like, that gave me chills, because again, that is what I do. Like, that is my calling, to liberate the oppressed. So that was amazing. Because again, I mainly help divine masculine energies break free from where they feel trapped in their own mind or trapped in literal stuck situations. Um, and then the other thing I've put here is, guess it's never too late to start over. It's nice to have a second chance. Oh, and there was loads of synchronicities in that film. Right. So these are the downloads so that I got yesterday. Right? So I'm just going to read them out. Right. So I've wrote, no coincidence, fear is amped up when the true love energy is so present. And what I mean by that is I pulled the true love card 3 times in a row for the shorts over the weekend. So so there was sabotage done to twin flame unions like every year, but I remember it last year, it was quite bad, because it wasn't just to the twin flame unions, it was actually twin flame friendships as well that I witnessed. Like, basically, yeah, sabotage, like, just confusion, illusion, mix-ups, miscommunication happening, so that people just, any sort of support that you have around you on the twin flame journey is taken away from you as well. Because that's what the dark want. You know what I mean? It's like, and they used the Mercury retrograde, chaos and confusion, and the darker side of coyote medicine. Because remember, sometimes we have to use coyote medicine to cast some kind of illusion to protect yourselves. I think that's important that you know the difference between that. I say that all the time. But this was kind of using the very shadowy side of it, of making it look one way when actually it wasn't, and then it can cause the breakdown of either friendships that were people you can trust, but it made it look like you can't for some reason, or yeah. Anyway, so I saw a lot of that, as well as the bit, like I said, the biggest thing that I saw with clients, and I just saw observing, shall we say, online, is true twin flame unions almost getting to a union, and yeah, like the moment where Cha-Cha rushes in and takes Danny off of Sandy, in Greece, it's like, although that's fleetingly, you know what I mean, it's like, what's going on here? They were dancing, having a great time, and who's this bitch? Do you know what I mean? It's change the gender if you want, and that's what I saw. And then obviously, yeah, the spell that the masculine, regardless of genders, under can go on quite some time, or it can be short lived, and it's just different for different people. It's different people's very challenging journeys. Again, that's all I'll really say about that. Right, so I've put fears intensified. I've just channeled about that, and I've said all that. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then also in that Love Rosie film, now I didn't channel about that video because it was when I think that was right when I got the tooth out, but I wrote about it in the community tab, so you can read that, scroll back in the community tab. And yeah, that film's so fucking frustrating, and I was fucking sobbing. But it's quite a happy ending, guys. But basically, the whole film is like the two of them, like, she has a kid I mean, very very young, and obviously not planned, and then ends up getting together with the guy that got her pregnant years later, who's a dick and ends up cheating on her, and then I'm telling you the film, so don't, so click away now if you don't want to know this. And then even marries him, yeah. But again, he turns out cheating. It's again karmic. And the guy also does he marry? Oh yeah, he does end up. Yeah, so like he's involved with someone else. There's a pregnancy thing in that, and just watch it. It was just all fucked up. And then he actually marries someone. But what's amazing about that film is it's what I channeled about in the written thing. It's a shame too that there's a clear moment when the person he's just married is thinking, oh shit, because he's seeing the way that they're looking at each other when the best friend, again, what do I always say twin flames are? Best friends, real best friends. But when the best friend is giving the best man, but she's a woman, speech to her best friend, who they're both in love with each other, and the one he's just married is like, holy fuck, man, this marriage is not going to last, and then it obviously doesn't. But do you know what I'm saying? Like I just felt that film's like such a brilliant example of it's weird because like in one way I see marriage as a really beautiful thing if people truly are in love and you want to celebrate that love and you want to have a party afterwards, you just want to feel closer to each other. But as long as you're going to honour it kind of thing, right? And then another way I kind of see it as like it's and again I've said this before, but it's because of the conversations that I've had with men over the years, is that, you know, some people, the way some people fall into marriages is really not that romantic at all, and it's like really quite practical, and it was just the next thing that they do. And even if it wasn't that, even if you were in love at the time, but then you change over the years, you're not who you. It's all, you change, and then you're afraid to break away from it because you made those vows. That's where I just kind of, I think that that's true love to me, is waking up every morning and choosing that person because you want to, and not feeling like you have to because you made that vow. You know what I mean? It's like you choose to be with them because you want to be with them. Yeah. Anyway, that's quite deep, Claire. But right now, here's the other important thing. I have channeled about this a lot this year. It feels like, but the thing that's really uncomfortable about it is, so it's basically karmics appearing in dreams, but it happens so frequently to me that it's really hard to put into words how I was like, because I woke up this morning and they were talking, because it happened again last night, but they were talking about it to me, um, like that it's really important that I talk about this, is that it's becoming so frequent that I'm actually getting used to it, and it's like, but I wake up in the morning and then when it comes back to me later on, I'm like, fucking hell, karmic, basically karmic energies were in my dream again. It's like what I've said before, so I'm going to say it again so that people get this. When a karmic energy from your past is showing up in your dreams, it's because they're really thinking about you a lot. Or, they could be missing you. So again, it's quite, it can be like twin flames as well, because when your twin flames thinking of you missing you and you're missing it, you'll think about each other and you'll dream about them and stuff. But this isn't the same as that. It's kind of the same kind of note, but it's like the karmic energies, I feel that they know they can't have access to you in the physical, so they're trying to get into your dream state, or they just literally are. Again, like, to be honest with you, a lot of these karmic energies are obsessive. Like, they're obsessed with you in a very unhealthy way. Whether this is people that you know or knew in the past, or it can be karmics on your twin side that are obsessive about you if they know who you are, or and not just romantic. It could be anybody karmic on their side. You know what I mean? But and again, the amount of films I've been led to while I've been off that have pointed to that are, yeah, big time. And there was actually a video that I recorded that I haven't published yet because I was guided to sort of hold it back until it feels I'll probably hold that on and release it on Scorpio Moon in a few days. But it was kind of dark, you know what I mean? And then I got led to a film that was almost like very similar to what I channeled, and I hadn't seen that film, and that was a bit weird. Um, but yeah, the total vibe of it is like, well, there's a stalker in one of the films, and I remember when I channeled all that stuff about Wicker Park, it's kind of like stalker vibes. It can also be like single white female vibes, and it could change it to a male if it's a male. But there's just a lot of energies for some twins. So again, not all. You'll know if this applies to you, where there's people keeping track of your every move or keeping an eye on what is you're up to for whatever reason, whether it's that they are still in love with you, or it can just be people from your past that you were connected to that can't move on from. Again, it's just to do with. It's to do with being a twin flame. Like, people are, I mean, yeah, it's interesting still in that. They're addicted to your light, is what I'm hearing. And it's, again, you wouldn't believe the amount of times I get told that all the time. Whenever I've had readings in the past, they say it all the time. Like, some people can get really, like attract energy vampire kind of stuff too. But yeah, if people had access to you before, particularly if you've got very healing energy, which obviously I have been a healer, but it's like, we've all got something that's healing about us. They just, miss your energy, but it's when it's overstepping the boundary is when they're appearing in your dreams all the time like that. And for me, it's like they're camouflage isn't really the right way to put it, but what I'm saying is it's like it's just happening that much, you're getting used to it. Like, you need to don't get used to it. Like, basically, when it comes back to you later on in the day, the next day, or a week later, when it comes back to you that, oh my god, they were in my dream again, don't just discount it as, oh, they were in my dream, I wonder. Like, actually take a moment to yourself to say within yourself or out loud, you do not have permission to keep accessing me in the dream time in the astral. Fuck off, or however you want to say it. Like, really bring that darkness to light. You know what I mean? So yeah, it'll make sense to you if it makes sense to you. But it's sneaky. It's sneaky the way people keep appearing in my dreams, and it makes me feel really uncomfortable. So you need to call it out. And that happens in my dreams because I have the visions of the omens. It's I'm prophesizing, like, to give these messages. Yeah, psychic. They just pulled me to the word psychic when I said that. It's part of my gift. But it's uncomfortable because it literally is karmic people from my past appearing in my dream as if fucking nothing's happened. And it's like, why the fuck are you in my dream? Fuck off. With love. And also another thing is, if you're ever catching like quite an attack on the twin flame concept, full stop, this can come from people's deep desire for them to have it themselves, but it's like the shadow side of them is like attacking it because they're not in it. Like, so either they could be with someone that they know is not their twin flame, but they're trying to convince themselves that they're in the right thing. I've seen that a lot over the years, and recently. Or they're stuck in their lives in general, and they just don't understand. And it could just be people that don't understand the twin flame journey. Again, it's like, because we're here to be an example of what true love is. And like I said, I always like to make that clear. You don't need to have your twin flame relationship all out there in the public for everyone to see, although that is quite often a factor for some people, even if it's just you're doing work in public. But you never show who your twin flame is or whatever, and some do. It just depends. It's just when you are together with your twin flame, you emit out this energy that is very healing. So anyway, right, I think we're going to bring this to a close, but those were all the messages that... wait a minute. I want to do just a wee sort of guidance card or something for each from this deck, and then I'll do some love cards, and then I'll just end this. Oh god. Oh my god, for fuck's sake. But what fell on the floor? Oh, right. Talk about your feelings, tell a friend how you feel, self-explanatory. I feel this is the twin flames that are being guided to talk about their feelings. Look how different they are. It's a horse and a cat, right? It's not a traditional average relationship, is it? Or connection. But this is just symbolic of two people. Oh, it's not a horse, is it? It's a unicorn. This is like two people's worlds colliding because it's destined and fated. And the thing is, it's a bit dramatic. Like, some twin flames are really not that different. Some twin flames are really not as different. Like, what am I trying to say? Some twin flames, it's like there isn't that much of a big difference. And it's like you're blown up in your own head, or your twin flame is, or you both are in some sort of way. But some things there are big total differences. Hello and goodbye. You'll soon see that this change will make things better. Again, I feel it's the people that are needing to close the door on whatever they were in before. And teamwork again. Look, how interesting is that? There's this theme of the two different, the cat and the unicorn, and there's the cat and the unicorn again. So this is almost like different sets of twin flames. That's people are like, what the fuck are you talking about, Claire? But I totally get that. It's like, you're a unicorn to me. So But then it's just like this feels like a divine masculine to a divine feminine. Like, can I touch you? Are you're a unicorn to me? Are you real? You know, you don't feel real. Oh, this is what it is. You don't feel real. Like, you know, it's like you don't feel real to them. But then it's also like this can equally be a divine feminine talking to a divine, like, oh yeah, that's what a divine feminine looks at a divine masculine, like, you're a unicorn too. Like, you know, you've got this magic, you've got something magical about you too. So that's lovely. Right, okay. Random but lovely. Right, so some might describe me like that. I'm sure others definitely don't describe me like that. Right, random but lovely. Hilarious. Swears a wee bit too much too, but hey. But hey, we gotta own it. Right, so what's guidance for divine feminine then? Oh, look, the guidance is about your thinking man. Or your thinking woman, whatever the genders. The thinking man's came up before, but basically I feel this is look, oh yeah, and this can also be like for that other card. I can't believe I picked up stones and lost this diamond, or can't believe I was, yeah, basically I lost a diamond while I was picking up stones, and he literally is holding a diamond there, isn't he? Yeah, I don't even, well, I will read it. That's why I wanted to use this deck to read the messages. This card shows a man standing before an archway, gazing at a crystal in his hand. He's a thoughtful, reflective man, representing the potential presence of a teacher in your life now or about to arrive soon. Oh, guys, it does say that, divine feminine. This person may be there to educate you in the finer details of your chosen direction, or may be there to assist you in some specific spiritual, mental, or emotional pursuits. Your twin flame is your biggest teacher in that way. Both of you are to each other. This card is telling you to pay attention, for this could lead to great strides in personal or professional growth. Now, see how that ties into the random film I was channeling about. Not only did he find somebody that he's a true match for, because he's just being himself and he's not being boring and stiff and kind of not being himself, but he also, you know, he also reawakens that passion for what he really loves, which is the photography. So just, you know, change all that for how that fits with you. This man may also be a love interest coming your way. Oh, look, what is that? Or perhaps just a new male friend. But be on the lookout for this guide in the physical world and be open to his information. Learn what you can. A new discipline, technique, course of study, or healing practice could change your life forever. I am willing to learn new things. It is safe and comfortable for me to open up and share. Beautiful, right. So, because remember, when I say the feminine energy, that can also be the divine masculines going to a feminine in regards to gender. Like, sorry, this is going to do my nothing how they're all falling over. And they've just maybe pulled my eyes to that card, forgiveness. There's a big plant in the middle of them, mind you. What's that all about? Is that a rose plant? Forgiveness, and it's Pisces energy and unconditional love. 23 might be significant. Oh, that's the equinox. 23 is the autumn equinox. By the way, can I just say, I'm sure I'll do a video to say that again, but this week leading up to the autumn equinox is going to be crazy, and a lot of the darkness. Oh, fuck, that's what it is. I've just realised that. So I'm channeling about all the crazy YouTube titles you're going to see about your worst fucking nightmares. Yeah, basically. So what I'm saying is, some of your worst nightmares and the worst possible case scenarios that you could imagine you and your twin flame being in might unfortunately be realities, right? It's just, but well, I'm laughing with that and it's really no funny, do you know what I mean? Like, I've been through these things myself, some of these things through myself, but it's kind of like, you're never given any more than you can handle. So it might seem like the end of the world for you, divine feminine, or it might seem like the end of the world for you, divine masculine. Especially if you get into things when you're kind of being quite karmic and then you wake up and you're like, what the fuck have I got myself into? But you're never given any more than what your union can handle, is what I'm going to say. And even if that be that, so when one of my clients that I just finished some longer term work with, when it's the right time for her to share, she's a brilliant example of that. So I can just generally say, when we started, it was a nightmare situation on her journey, is how I'll put it. And within a very short space of time, we're talking a matter of weeks, everything had miraculously turned around. So talking about your feelings with a twin flame counsellor shaman really does work wonders, you know what I mean? Because again, it's not just counselling, that also in conjunction with the therapy, like we done a shamanic journey to pull back the power, basically to empower her and her twin flame on that journey too. So anyway, long story short, but yeah, guidance for a masculine. Oh yes, that's why I was saying that. It's like all the ugliness, because it's like the equinox is about the balance of the dark and the light, the yin and the yang, the shadow and the light, all this kind of stuff within you and within the world. That's why it makes sense to be all this darkness, and just like really, just all the secrets and everything in the world and the personal and twin flame. It's just all coming to the surface, and it's going to get pretty dark before it gets light. We know that in the world, but I mean in twin flame dynamics as well. Basically, it's kind of like that vibe of you're going to have to hear the ugly truth before you can enjoy the fun part of the union. So, right, okay. So, and again, for some of you might be lucky, and it might not be that dark, but I get the feeling for I'm giving the message to us. But it's time to talk. Okay, it's time to talk, Jesus. Again, I always see Jesus as a sign for divine masculine. So, healer of the ages, Jesus. Yeah, and Jesus is forgiveness as well. But yeah, 39. Time to talk. 39 could be a significant age. Of course, it wouldn't be for everyone, and if you're yet to reach it, it'll be a significant time in your life, or one way or another. But yeah, this is about the throat chakra. And why am I leaving this video all tied up? So someone's been all tied up in the past, and they were oppressed. Notice the connection, what I said about the film, and you're being freed from it. You're being guided to take action. Energized effort, willing to work. You're being guided to take action, to move away from wherever you're feeling oppressed, because that is not a good feeling. Right. Self-expression, speaking your truth. And I'm sure I just titled one of the shorts of that today or yesterday. Gabriel holds his trumpet in one hand and a beautiful orb of blue light in the other. He's sending powerful energy to your throat chakra, divine masculine, acknowledging your power to communicate and your readiness to do so. This angel opens you up to this truthful expression both within yourself and others. And remember, if your masculine is getting ready to talk now, it means that divine feminine, you've both done the work. If you are at a place of being able to talk openly and honestly and vulnerably to one another, well fucking done, pat yourself on the back. But a feminine has really done that deep inner work, and so is a masculine to be able. You've basically both done the work. It's teamwork, and doesn't that one of those cards say that? Yeah, you've both worked as a team. That's what true twin flames do, and this kind of looks like yin yang colors as well, in order to be able to get to this point for this to manifest. You may have had trouble with expressing emotions and ideas in the past, but Gabriel is here to tell you that your soul longs to take this leap now. Be aware that true communication includes how you speak to yourself. Again, so it's that kind of, if you've had this kind of pattern of self-loathing or telling yourself you can't do it or you're no good or whatever the different sorts of horrible ways that people thought to themselves, it's someone's worked this. The masculine has worked through this. So if you're not at this bit yet, this is where you can aim to be, and you will be, or maybe some of you already are. In fact, I know that some of you already are. Be aware that true communication includes how you speak to yourself, so never deny your profound integral value. Speak up for yourself, write in your journal, let your words flow. And again, that's what that Zac Efron has to do in that film. Like, he has to say no to his dad. This is not my life, it's the life that you wanted for me. And actually it comes about really nice in that film too, because the dad at first is like, what are you doing? And then actually that, God, now I'm going to go now, but see, that's connected to the message. So that means it's not easy for this masculine to share their truth. So go easy with them, or go easy on yourself. But it's also reminding me of Cinderella story, when he runs away from the game to go and get her. Well, that is just a very good example as well, which I've channeled about before. I mean, we all love that. If you've watched that, we all love that film. I love the song when it played, but you know what I mean? It's like when he runs and he's like, sorry I waited for the rain because there was a drought. But yeah, he runs away from the dad and he's like, I'm not running away from what I want, I'm running away from what you want. He doesn't say that, but something like that. But in that other film, the dad actually, he can see how happy the girl makes him, and it's making him be himself. So he's like, yes, she does seem like the right girl, and yeah, they go off, and it was a funny film. So that, I think that's a positive message about, for parents in particular, can change their views once they see you with their twin. It doesn't all happen like a click of the finger fucking fairy tale. But actually, see, well, they just said to me, no, yes, it does. With twin flames, it does. It's just you don't get to find that out until you meet. I channel this all the time. Fuck's sake, used to get said to me in fucking personal readings in the past as well. But it's like, yeah, everything can turn around in the blink of an eye with you and your twin flame. But you actually have to make that leap to get together to find that out. You know, that's when you get the union codes that flood in for your own personal union. Now is the time to express yourself freely and fully, and the universe will always honour your choice to do so. This card could also indicate that a communication project is coming, or a time of heightened communication with spirit and telepathy with others. Again, that will be you and your twin flame. My throat chakra is open to its perfect healthy state, spinning with the beautiful energy of freedom, self-empowerment, and I'm free to express myself in every way. Beautiful way to end it, because that is what I help twin flames do on the daily on this channel, and also in personal sessions. And more recently, again, twins that are, in talks with one another, whether they're in union or, reunion, usually like on the way to like things being better, are starting to be led to me. So, yeah, exciting times, guys. It's time to forgive whatever has happened in the past. But like I said, unfortunately, I think I will just put this out in real time. But whenever it is you're watching it, you could be in for quite a weekend of pushing through some. I don't know if I can. I don't know if it's literal to the weekend, but I feel it is connected to the Virgo new moon energy. And like I said, I think it's more to do with the Mercury going direct, communication. Oh fuck yeah! I just realised that too. It's Mercury direct day today. It's how interesting. My phone just turned off as well. So it just turned off. The battery's just died. That means something. Maybe you need to rest, because that's obviously just a sign for my guides to say, right, you get back to resting your voice, because that's the longest I've spoke for a week or so. Well, it's just really a week, isn't it? But yeah, it's because the Libra moon is conjunct the South Node, and like I said, it's people are going to be getting guided. It doesn't mean you're going to do it, but if you stay in procrastination and you keep making the choice to put others people's needs and feelings before your own, then you're living in the past energy of being stuck in procrastination, stuck in fear, people pleasing, which eventually you will blow up, which is why I always say you're better just to get it out. You don't need to fucking go off on everyone, but if you can speak up and be assertive, which is what that card's about, which is what that guy does in the film, it turns out all right. And I think that's why they got me to tell the story of the dad's not happy at first, but later on in the film, not too later on, they're trapped in a situation where, I'm making it so really serious, it's a comedy, but where the guy's like, do you know what, actually, basically the dad's like admits he's wrong, and he sees how much happier the son is with the right person. So change the genders and all that about for whatever. But yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you. Please like, comment, subscribe. Watch the shorts, because although they're only a minute, I know some of you only watch the long form videos and you won't watch the shorts. Some of you only watch the shorts and you don't watch it, but they're really resonating with people from what I can see. Obviously, I haven't been responding to the comments just because I want to protect my energy a bit more, and I'll probably do that until at least Tuesday there. But yeah, I'll respond back to the comments when I'm back doing my thing again, which will hopefully be sometime next week. But yeah, just keep holding space for the wave of twins that are getting ready to talk, because it is happening. It's exciting. There's a lot of true love energy, but there's so much darkness and interference and fear arising in both twins, really. But it's fuck it, let's go time. 1, 2, 3. That's what that means to me. The video. See you later.